RiseAbsorb is redefining what growers expect from phosphate fertilizer. Backed by data and built for performance, RiseAbsorb helps reduce phosphorus losses, improve uptake, and boost ROI without increasing input costs. Join the next wave of growers switching to the next generation of phosphorus fertilizers by visiting phospholutions.com.
Every weekday at 10 a.m. Central, one of the personalities from Real Agriculture appears on RFD-TV and Rural Radio 147's Market Day Report to shed light and insight and perspective on what is happening in the world of agriculture. Enjoy.
And in other tariff news, China has announced anti-dumping tariffs on Canadian canola. And host of Real Ag Radio, Shaun Haney, joins us now with the latest on this. Shaun, thanks for joining us today. So what is the tariff level and reasoning from China?
Hey, great to be with you here this morning. So as the U.S. tries to find a trade deal with China, Canada finds itself in a bit of a stickier situation. China is imposing a 75.8% tariff on Canadian canola seed starting on August 14th. Now, this is the preliminary outcome of an anti-dumping investigation that was launched back in September of 2024, so a year ago. That was launched by China's Ministry of Commerce. So according to the ministry, the investigation has concluded that Canada's canola industry benefits from government subsidies and preferred policies that have resulted in overcapacity, which China claims is hurting their own domestic rapeseed industry. Now, a final ruling is going to follow after further investigation, but now we've got tariffs on meal, on oil, and now canola seed as well.
Wow, what a situation. So how do you think the Canadian government will respond potentially?
Yeah, I think what's changed here a little bit, too, is if you think back to, remember when the CFO of Huawei was kidnapped in Vancouver, or arrested, I should say, that was kind of like Canada in the middle of China and the U.S. I think this is a little bit removed from that situation now. China's got its own problems with Canada, not just necessarily using Canada as a chess piece. How can the Canadian government respond? Well, obviously they condemn the move publicly and reject the anti-dumping finding. They're going to pursue trade dispute channels through the WTO. That's slow. There's other diplomatic channels to reduce some of the escalation, like engaging directly with Beijing and potentially rallying other agricultural exporting countries that could be affected by similar measures. That seems kind of a slow process. And also explore market diversification strategies for canola seed. Well, the options are there: Asia, Middle East, Europe, of course the U.S. This is where renewable diesel and SAF are so important to diversify the Canadian canola supply away from being reliant on China.
Right, and I know that you mentioned that the prior tariffs on meal and oil are also there. So how do you see all of this being rectified?
Yeah, these new tariffs do come on top of some of those existing tariffs that were applied in March. That's a 100% tariff in that case on oil, meal, as well as peas and some aquaculture products. Given the scale of these measures, a resolution is going to require, like those solutions I just provided, I think slow. And maybe, when it comes to China, they're very good at this game. It maybe just comes down to when they need more Canadian canola. That's what provides the resolution. It is, I think there's a lot of people smirking and smiling a little bit to the suggestion that the Canadian government has created an overcapacity for canola or increased supply. That seems a little bit silly. So obviously we've moved into this non-tariff barrier type of situation on Canadian canola. Probably time is what is needed.
Yeah, definitely some time. Gosh, that's a lot to digest. That's host of Real Ag Radio, Shaun Haney. We appreciate your time. You can catch Shaun on his show, Real Ag Radio, which airs at 4:30 p.m. Eastern weekdays on Rural Radio, Channel 147 on Sirius XM. And we will visit with him again tomorrow on Market Day Report.
Send us your feedback on that bit by sending me an email, shaney@realagriculture.com, or call the Real Ag feedback line, 855-776-6147.